Hello, viewers. Kubiando, kith and kin, and welcome to a very magical episode of I Was A Teenage Exocolonist, where undoubtedly some very strange shit is going to occur. I do want to say, by the way, I'm actually very annoyed that the engineered plague storyline turned out like it did. Like, we just convinced him not to do it? Because, that's not good enough. He held people hostage and forced them to do war crimes, and the war crimes didn't happen is not the outcome we should be pursuing. It's the guy who tried to do war crimes is fed to a faceless or something, and then also, the war crimes don't happen. I'm pretty annoyed by the fact that we don't seem to be able to push the issue at all. Like, he should absolutely not be in power anymore, but we don't have any ability to... I don't know. What we have the ability to do is this. Let us sneak out to explore the glow. Bravery and perception. Well, these are things that we are well versed in. So, the very first time we have ever done this. No one's allowed outside the colony during glow, so if you stay out of the lookout sites, there'll be nobody to catch you. It also means you're alone out here. If you get into trouble, it's going to be big trouble. I hope you know what you're doing. The familiar is unfamiliar during glow. The sky is dark, except for the eerie light of the wormhole, seeming so much closer than it usually is, and the gloom makes the shadows deeper and more mysterious. It's so hauntingly quiet that you can even hear the movement of animals, the beat of soft wings, a whoomph of something large in the distance. What's that curious sound? Well, it's just a Dorbs moth taking flight. Its unusually dull plumage is an iridescent rainbow. Its usually dull plumage is an iridescent rainbow glowing warmly in the dark of glow. It slowly glides through the mushroom trees. Adorable, look at him. You've been taught to be terrified of glow season since you landed here. That there were monsters out here, circling the colony, attacking anything they saw. But it's so much more serene than you were expecting. Maybe they were wrong. Or lying to you. I feel like probably nobody had any idea what it was like out here. Right? I know that we know that the adults lie to us all the time. They were definitely concealing things from us for a long time. But I think, we gotta go talk to Sam, right? I think a lot of that comes down to a lot of that was about the food stuff, right? The food supplies had been fucked, and they didn't want to let the kids know that there was a problem sort of looming on the horizon food-wise. Hold on, we're going to talk to Sam. We're totally going to, and we're going to do all these events and whatnot. But I want to make sure I've picked up all of the free collectibles first. So, lots of manticores, lots of interacting with manticores, hopefully in non-combat ways. I mean, I probably don't need to talk to Sim right away. We probably should do normal events. I mean, I should see what they're like at least. Let's at least hit a couple. We'll just see what they're like. You come across a strange glowing river in the sky, floating just over the mushroom-capped treetops. It reminds you of old Earth vids about the Milky Way or the Northern Lights. It undulates away to the left and right, a river of luminous mist. Beneath it, a curtain of tiny glowing particles slowly rains down into the forest below. I will follow it. It seems to be denser to the left and flowing slowly to the right, so you decide to head left toward what must be the source. You stray from the path. The ground is hard to traverse in the dim phosphorescence. The river gets denser and starts to shimmer a little, like the spore clouds you sometimes see in pollen. You're careful not to get too close to the particles raining down from it. The mist seems to be coming from something near the ground, somewhere up ahead, and it's something big. Something big and moving. The strange river of light is flowing from something on the next plateau. It's heading east and trailing this glowing dust, some kind of spore maybe, behind it. You could go down into the ravine here and try to keep following it, or safely cross under the Erie stream and continue where you were headed before. No, I want to follow it. Keep going. We gained a toughness. That's the thing we actually still can benefit from. After a harrowing trip through the muddy ravine, you make it up to the next plateau, only to find the Sky River has dissipated. You can't find any sign of what made it. Ah, well. Man, we just got wailed on with the stress there. Alright, it's fine. Is interacting with a manticore a good idea? I do not know. You come across a sawmill that's been shut down for the season. There's movement inside. Something in there is yipping and moaning in pain. You approach it carefully and find that some sort of dog-like creature has gotten trapped in the machinery. It growls at you and blinks its eyes. Then its other eyes. Then its other eyes. Boy, it has a lot of eyes. The loggers won't be back for weeks, so this creature will die slowly and painfully. It looks worn out already, but still dangerous. I think I can safely release it. You try to come near, but it bites at you ferociously, nearly taking your hand off. You do not see a way you can safely free it. Let's just watch it for a second. You sit to watch it, hoping to learn more from it, or at least a way to free it without endangering yourself. The creature's obviously been struggling for a long time. Once it realizes that you're not here to eat it, it slumps down to nap. You feel an irresistible urge to do the same, and fall into something of a trance. Oh, that's no good. Then something bizarre happens. A massive shadow drifts into the lumberyard, coming between you and the creature. You have the sense of an immense presence, something massive but graceful. You're not quite sure if you're dreaming, but you feel rooted to the spot and unnaturally calm. It's as if you've been drugged. It's exactly as if we've been drugged. The shadow stays a while, observing you curiously. Then it drifts away again. You blink, coming out of your trance. What just happened? Did you fall asleep? You look back over to the machinery and realize the trapped eye beast is gone. You aren't sure if you should feel relieved or terrified. Was it freed or eaten? But you decide to get the heck away from this place now and ask these questions later. I feel like I should have gotten a de-stress there, at least partial, because, you know, I slept. I took a nap. All right, I'm gonna run over and see what Sim's up to. I don't know, like maybe we should do everything we can first, but I don't know. I'm real torn about like the way that any event could go sideways and suddenly cost us a bunch of stress, or it's so tricky to know what the right thing to do is. But I know we want to talk to Sim, right? Like for sure. Shadows upon shadows move against each other and glow, wavering under the gloaming of the mush trees like ghosts. The forest is as still as the creature breathing its last breath. You don't see Sim until you're practically on top of him. Hi, Sugarbug, he laughs, holding you by the shoulders. Miss me? You nearly didn't there. Hey, no, I totally saw you with my incredible eyes. Sim smiles. Of course you did. You're practically made for this place. Sim starts walking through the forest, his footsteps finding the path with ease. Pardon me. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. This is my favorite time of year, you know, he says. I get the sense you humans are afraid of it. Well, things do tend to attack us. That's true, Sim replies, tilting his head with a funny expression. Those attacks are not natural, as you may have guessed. Glow isn't dangerous at all. It's lovely. He smiles. Glow is a time of healing, actually. A time for the creatures of this planet to go dormant and reflect on themselves, and to strengthen connections with other life forms. Of course the planet repels you, he adds, raising his hand to stir a cloud of glowing spores drifting above your heads. You don't connect. You're like a burr lodged against its skin. Sim continues walking. I'm sure you have some questions for me, as usual, he says, his voice wry. Okay, sure, seriously, what's up with the wormhole? Sim laughs. Just like that. You'd like me to unravel the mysteries of the universe for you. Suffice it to say, I don't think you could fully understand it, even if I explained everything I know. He looks up at the wormhole with a thoughtful expression. Truthfully, the wormhole is older than even this planet, he murmurs. It operates on a level of space and time that are beyond even my comprehension. The universe is impossibly vast and unknowable. I'm sure you've already noticed that it's related to your foresight, yes? He asks, and you nod. Your dreams, if that's what they are, always seem to get worse in wet and glow, when the wormhole is close to the planet. We haven't had any text about our dreams in quite some time. Many individuals, such as yourself, are sensitive to a wormhole's effect of time and space. Fluctuations and eddies in the normal linear flow of reality. Think of it like an echo, only not your own. Think of it as if a version of yourself stood in this spot and shouted, then moved forward in time before hearing her own voice return. You can hear those echoes, choices that person made, and events she experienced that may not come to pass for yourself. So I can change the future. Sim tilts his head. Yes, but forgive me for being glib, but that's not what makes you special. All living things change the future, simply by existing, he says. You see glimpses of what might happen as you do. Sim stops walking and smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. I only kind of know. Alright, let's do the yellow event, and then we'll go back and pick up other stuff. You climb up to a plateau ringed with gnarlwood trees. The view is fantastic. You can see the entire valley on this side of the colony from here. You have a curious sense of remembering this place. Not from your dreams, but no, from a vision you had deep under a strange pyramid. Something important will happen here, but not yet. Well, I guess let's take some samples. That's a thing I like to do, samples. Damn it, biology. Your quest for knowledge continues, so you take some samples and analyze them with your hollow palm. There are wacky things here. There's glowing mushrooms you've never seen before, and a strange amount of deadfall, as if there'd been some kind of localized tornado. You log fake location data, so it looks like you found these things inside the colony. Utopia'd be upset if she knew when and where you actually got this. And I think we just keep exploring, right? Now that we've seen that, let's just hit events. I mean, like, I'm fine hitting events until we stress all the way out, frankly. This area is dotted with huge circles of glowing mushrooms, each one nearly a meter in diameter. The bare grass in the center of the circles looks remarkably lush. So with perception 80... Interesting. Let's take a closer look. You crouch down to analyze the mushrooms. It's a species you don't recognize, but your hollow palm reports that they live most of the year underground and only pop up during glow season. This close, you notice the entire area inside the circle is sunken, and the grass has been flattened, almost like a footprint. But what would be big enough to make this? You decide not to wait around to find out. That's probably fair. Okay, so whatever's going on here, it's supposed to happen a little closer to the end of the game. You come to a dense part of the path where the gnarlwood surrounds you and blocks out the sky and the wormhole above. Long threads that look like hair are hanging down from the trees. Strange. You've never seen this during the rest of the year. You'll have to go through these. Boy, it is a good thing we are, like, capped on perception. Let's take a closer look first. The strands are sticky, like a spider's web. So sticky and thick, in fact, that you would be caught if you tried to push your way through. And I don't have the combat skill necessary to defeat a stationary web, so I guess I'd better not. At least that one doesn't eat your stress if you don't actually do it. Let's do this animal event down here. You're crossing a section of wilderness here where the plants don't throw off as much luminescence as other parts. It's oppressively dark here. You use your hollow palm as a flashlight, focusing the light as a beam to slowly make your way through the cloying undergrowth. The beam of your hollow palm sweeps over a familiar form, a manticore. Your heart skips a beat at encountering this fearsome beast in the dark. This manticore isn't the deadly killer of the colony's cautionary tales. Actually, it looks terrified. It backs up against a tree, cowering, its eyes rolling in panic. Well, what I think we should do is turn around. It's weird to me that there's no option to turn around and see if there's something behind me that it's afraid of. I don't actually want to scare it. Like, that seems shitty. I'm going to keep my light on it. What's going on with this thing? Yep, okay. You're too scared to move your light away, convinced it will pounce under cover of darkness. You try to hold your light steady, but you're shaking, and so is the manticore. Then you realize it isn't even looking at you. It's staring into the forest to the right. You slowly grasp that the manticore isn't scared of you, it's scared of something else. Of course, why would it be scared of me? It suddenly screeches in fear and bolts off to the left. You hear something absolutely enormous moving in the trees off to the right, where the manticore was staring. It's a deep grinding sound, like ancient trees rubbing together in the wind. Except, there's no wind. You turn off your flashlight and hold your breath. You hear a single loud thump, then stillness again. You wait a full 20 minutes in complete silence. Gradually, the insect chirps and other noises of the forest return, and the glow bugs drift lazily back into the air. You hadn't even realized they were missing, as if the entire jungle was holding its breath too. Whatever it was seems to have moved on. Okay, well, it's cool that I didn't get killed by whatever. That's an interesting encounter, though. Oh, right, this. Yep. Take a closer look. Better not, then. Just save ourselves the trouble. You're amazed at how peaceful it is out here. It's not what you expected. You stay out of sight of the watchtowers and slip between the mush trees. It's eerily silent, as if the forest is holding its breath in anticipation. It really is pretty out here, with all the plants and animals glowing, especially the wormhole filling the sky above you. Neighbors become wild, value is wild. That's pretty nuts. Admire the flora in detail is interesting. 50 perception for that. Only 10 to watch where you're walking. Neighbors become wild, value is wild is... That's a tough one to pass up on. I love a de-stress. And like, a red 5 is certainly not a bad card. I wonder how this works, like, in terms of generating straights. If you put a 3 all the way on one side, and an 8 all the way on the other side, and then drop this thing in the middle, will it construct the straight the way you want it to? I'm going to take this. This seems like an incredibly powerful card. You crane your head up to look at the wormhole. It's so big you begin to feel dizzy and end up stumbling over a bit of gnarled root. Ouch. As you're lying on your back in pain, you're still transfixed by the wormhole. It's dark against a dark sky, but as it moves, it shimmers with a million colors, turning in slow, fluid motion around the perfectly black hole at the center. Wow. Though you can't see it, you've been told the wormhole high above is shining with ultraviolet light. It's invisible to the human eye, but absorbed and re-emitted as visible light by the flora and fauna around you. Your hollow palm calls it a black light, and says that people on Earth used to use similar, much more concentrated light as decoration. Even your clothing glows faintly. Okay, we're stressing real fast. I'm glad I went and did the most important things. Although, actually, it looks like maybe we're done? Yeah, maybe I have Maybe I have stressed as much as I can. Hold on. Keep exploring. I want to make sure. But I think we have, at this point, done every event except for the one where we don't have the combat skill. Yep. Okay. Well, let's head back. We had a meaningful conversation with Sim. We saw some new events. We picked up a couple of cards that seem like they are absolutely bananas. And then we go home. Yes, go home. Hooray, bravery and perception. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh, they couldn't have waited till you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your hollow palm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. And I never ever do that, obviously. You head to the garrison to grab a plas rifle, then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you because he is not paying attention, but assigns you to a squad with Nem and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've seen in one place ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping toward the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the pew-pew of laser turrets and the crackle of plas rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos. Just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave crawling over the corpses until they roil at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There is no sun to set in glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plas rifle. Finally, you're relieved by second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot blep tea, which you grab, then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your hollow palm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate, 6 hours on, 6 off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days. Weeks, even. Weeks? Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, "We can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere." You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the wall with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. See, I think it's really interesting that, the game does not make a lot of room for this, which feels to me like the intuitive stance to take on the killing of Xenos with guns, which is we do it when it keeps us alive, and we don't do it when we don't absolutely have to. Nem, in particular, is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth, before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift, watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. You feel your eyes unfocus at the sheer, formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backward, reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks from the tree line. Nothing new except for one of them. One of the Xenos looks different from the others. Almost humanoid. What is that thing? The creature looks suspiciously like a person, and he's holding a gun made out of a flower. At least from the waist up. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. You rub your eyes. Yeah, it's still there. It approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters surge forward on to pound against the gates. Well, I'm gonna try to talk to it. Shooting stuff hasn't been helping. You wave to it, and the creature sneers and, to your surprise, approaches the wall. Little weed, they address you in a halting, rasping voice. Everything seems to go quiet nearby as you strain to understand this talking horror. Child of breeding rabbits, feral pig, kudzu. Its unnervingly human gaze pierces you. Introduced species. You understand? No, I get it. I get what you're doing. Oh, we know you. You wonder if you're hallucinating. Is it holding a gun? You slowly nod yes. You understand the words, at least. I am noctilucent, the monster says through a voice box that seems better suited to guttural roars than human language. A gardener. Designation, pest control. I perform my task, unlike gardener symbiosis. Sim. Yes, now that they're standing still, you can see the seed of Sim's slightly inhuman features staring back at you. The hair is a bit like Sim's as well, as if it's actually alive somehow, waving in a wind that isn't there. Okay, well, what do you want and why are you trying to kill us are both stupid questions. I feel like he just made that clear. But bring it on, you ugly asshole is not a productive thing to say. So I guess I'll ask. Maybe it'll have an interesting answer. What do you want? Who are you talking to? You jump as Nem sneaks up behind you, and when you look back, Noctilucent is gone. I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to say it. She wouldn't believe me anyway. Nem, of all people. Nobody. You shake your head and mumble something about needing sleep. You promised Sim you wouldn't talk about the gardeners. She nods and pats your shoulder. The siege is getting to everyone, Sowen. It's okay. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down the sights of your plas rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome? You hear and see Chief Ret nearby, looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard? Defend strategically unsound positions? Put himself in danger, so we had to save his overstuffed ass? Okay, I like this thing where everybody's starting to feel really done with Lum. The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Ret continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Ret while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you were a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plas rifle fire overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Okay, so we need to take a little break in the park. That's all. Just a calm little chill little break in the park. And here we are starting age 18. We gained some friendship with some people. We gained some stats. We gained 100 stress. Whew. Okay. And the colony holds. Worth noting. Buddy. Cal is sitting cross-legged on top of a gardening shed, his face turned toward the sun. He cracks open one eye when he realizes you're watching him. I like to spend a little bit of time every day communing with the planet, he says, smiling down at you. I think it's kind of important to know about why we're here and what we're doing, you know? Yeah. Do you want a yellow flower? Okay. I'm working on it. 98. We're close. I'm out of bobber fruits. Yeah, I do need to rest in the park, and hopefully our other pet will level up when we do. But first, let's run around and see if people want to talk about the shit that's happening. I do think it is probably time for an election. We should probably consider an election. I'm not going to give you a gift yet because, well, you know what? Here's a strange device. You want this? She doesn't particularly want that. Okay, good to know. We're cool. I know we're cool. I know what you want. Rex smiles as you approach, then looks concerned. You doing all right, Sowen? He gestures to his face. You've got a whole tired face, don't talk to me thing going on. It's real butch of you. Fucking hug me before I rip you in half, dog. Rex beams when he sees you walking toward him. Sowen, he calls. Just the person I wanted to see. You duck under the shade of an overhanging bit of construction. I wanted to talk to you about something. Rex starts without preamble. I wanted to talk about us. Sorry, what do you mean, us? Rex tilts his head at you, the corner of his mouth quirking up in a crooked, fanged smile. I mean, how can I say this? You're hot, and I'm easy. Why don't we put those two things together and see what happens? Okay, I actually love this approach. He brushes the backs of his fingers against your cheeks. Against your cheeks, singular. It would be weird to do them both at once. I know when someone's flirting with me, gorgeous. I can tell you're into this pup. Oops. Oops, it was totally working until you said pup. He laughs and ducks his head, running his hand through his hair. Sorry, I can't turn it off. Rex links his fingers behind his head and rocks back on his heels. I mean, I've never really dated anyone before, he confesses. Like, I love people, and I really like fooling around with people, but those aren't always the same people, if you catch what I'm saying. It's like how I love Know Me, but I don't want to be sexy with them. And I've definitely hooked up with people I didn't really feel anything for, just because it was fun and we both wanted to. He stops rocking and takes your hands. If you're okay with that, I think we could have a lot of fun and just see where it goes. No. Down, boy. Rex gives you the biggest, saddest puppy dog eyes you've ever seen. Really? He whines. Like, really whines. No, this is actually not cool. Rex, I am ready to turn around on you. Then he stands up straight and gives you a huge smile. Kidding, he exclaims. I'm just pulling your leg. We're cool, for real. I mean, you know me. Dogs gotta hunt. I got plenty of friends I don't sleep with, he says. I'm always happy to have one more. This feels like a swerve when he saw this thing wasn't work. That grosses me out. I'm a little thumbs down on Rex now. Rex slings a friendly arm around your shoulders. I'm glad we talked about this, he says. There's nothing better than a girl and her dog, right? You have to agree. It's awkward to tell someone you don't like them that way, but you feel good about this one, and Rex seems as genuinely happy as ever. It's good to have a friend like Rex. I'll be keeping a real close eye on Rex from now on. Anyway, I brought you this log. God, how many more of those is it going to take? You are getting a crystal cluster. Classic. And where's Mars? I definitely have more flowers for Mars. Okay. Mars, we're probably not going to make it out of sort of like a middling area. All right. Somebody ought to depose the governor. I'm busy. I need to take a break with my pets. Oh, do I have them both equipped? I'm hoping the hop eye can also upgrade. It would be pretty cool to have +5 on pairs. That would be lovely, actually. You and Cal go for a walk with your hop eye Optimus Prime. Cal loves the little creature, and they love him right back. They must instinctively know that Cal is a safe person. Either that or it's, the whole physique. We don't know what hop eyes are attracted to. Cal scritches Optimus Prime's chin. You're so lucky to have a little friend. You can feel your hop eye starting to trust you more. They're still pretty skittish, and you don't want to see what those claws on the end of their foot could do, but they seem a lot more relaxed in your presence. You're petting it when it starts to chitter at you in agitation. Whoops, what's wrong, Optimus Prime? It flips over on its back and wiggles, its lighter stomach fur looking impossibly soft and enticing. Do you dare? Or is it a trap? This is a tough one. Generally, when cats do this, they do it knowing that they have the ability to make you suffer. It's their favorite shit in the universe. I don't really like... How about one of these to start with? Yeah. Yeah, 8 points for a straight of 3 is pretty fucking cool. And then, yeah, we're just going like, what if it was very blue? I guess, hold on, last panel. Oh, okay, sorry. No, the neighbors become color wild. This card's value is wild. That is not what I had been reading that as doing. That's still very good. Yeah, okay. Neighbors become color wild, not neighbors become value wild. That's what I had been thinking. Okay. So then like it's a shame we don't have a value wild to complete the straight. But we can get the +3 bonus to pairs twice here, and then also just like 44 points in the middle round seems very good to me. And then here, it's very easy to just... I don't know. We don't really have to do all that well here. And also, I don't know, fucking a 4 or whatever. Good enough for me. You're too smart to fall for this trick. Oh, it upgrades the stress bonus too. That's actually really interesting. After a few moments, Optimus Prime seems to lose interest. They spot a bug circling lazily overhead and flip back over onto their foot, chittering as they begin to track it with their 4 blinking eyes. You're playing with Optimus Prime in the park when you hear a rustle from a nearby bush. Curious, you look underneath. It's the Hop Eye you met before. Optimus Prime lets out a happy trill of recognition. The other Hop Eye trills as well, and explodes out from under the bush to bounce happily around Optimus Prime. They chitter excitedly at each other, and you hear something else is making noise. You look under the bush and see, oh, stars! 5 baby Hop Eyes, pink and hairless, curled up together in the shade. The strange adult Hop Eye stops what it's doing and bounds over to you, warning you with a rattling hiss. Okay, I am not here to hurt anybody's babies. We're all good here. So bonus to straights. We got a big bonus to straights on this one. Unfortunately, we didn't actually draw a set of cards that will enable us to do a straight. I mean, so okay, card to the right becomes a 3. No, it is not a 4 because it's a +3 with a +1. It doesn't quite work that way. Well, I guess what we do is like 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And then it's going to make that card a 3, which is not what we want. We are missing a 4 here, and that's a real bummer. I mean, we're missing a red 4. We can still do this, obviously. So, like, just getting the bonus is really all that matters. And then we could tack a 6 onto the end of that for the pair. I think that's fine. It's not very exciting, I'll say that. The other thing we could do, instead of tacking the 6 on for a pair, is we could shove all these over, and then, yeah, just throw on a 10 instead. The thing is, flushes don't have the same unusual value. Like, we have bonus points on the value of both flushes and straight, or both of a kinds and straights. All right, got to make 49 here, which is not going to be the easiest thing in the universe, but it might be doable. So if I stopped playing red cards or blue cards now, I mean, I don't have what I need here. We can't quite line this up. If I just play a blue card, we get pretty close off of just the flush. But like the thing we really want to do is produce a straight, or yeah, like if I just move the 4-5 over, if I just move the 5-6 over and I play this 4, it'll get us where we're going. It's a little messy, but it's just like a lot of points of blue and then also an 11-point straight. It's fine. Yeah, apparently that was the high one, so hooray. One entire kudos. And yeah, man, gained 3 less stress. It's a real shame that the event for leveling these things up seemed to be broken for such a long time, because that would have been really cool to have earlier. You managed to calm down the Hop-Eye using tricks you've learned from training Hoptimus Prime. They cautiously allow you to pet them, their giant frog eyes blinking out of sync. You spent some time gazing in awe at the little Hop-Eye nest. They're so small and helpless. No wonder the Hop-Eye wanted to protect them. Okay, and yeah, we can forget just like a random blue 3. That's fine. You roll out of bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday, but also because you're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. You've been having these nightmares since the siege, more and more every night, like they're trying to tell you something urgent. You can't make any sense of it. All the imagery is jumbled together. All these possibilities and timelines and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat, a scream already in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed, run a hand through your hair, and check your hollow palm. A few people wished you happy birthday, but that's all. You guess you're getting older. Birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right, and Mars wants to meet you for lunch in the lounge today. You'll have to practice your smile. As you enter the lounge, it's a surprise party, because of course it is. Okay, a yellow that's worth 8 on the... Ooh, boy. I haven't thought about Tammy in a minute. Remember Tammy? Woof. You must be able to save her, right? Because there would be no reason for there to be a more adult-looking Tammy otherwise. But they've done a pretty good job of, like, keeping her off of the cards and stuff. You know, like they're making it so that she's not as obvious, like as a game element to think about. This is a real rush though. You do your very best to play along and act surprised. Woo! Streamers, balloons, great. All your friends are standing around wearing goofy hats and clapping. Nomi is holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are, and Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie, because he thinks it's somebody's fetish. That's the only reason he would do that. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion, and demurring with a few pointed, "All this for me? You shouldn't have. No, really." Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a vampy accent and a silly, airheaded giggle. The goofball act chips away at the natural awkwardness of a surprise party. That is, the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise. And soon everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Your friends are so amazing, and they're all here because they care about you. And then you get some unexpected guests. The lounge begins to fill with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know. The ones who usually keep to themselves and, well, that don't much like you original stratospheric kids. Vase and Nem are with them, his arm draped over her shoulders. Nem gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Vase. Oh, please, dude, try to make something of that. Hey, who invited you guys? Cal says, stepping forward with his hands clenched. This is a private party. It's a public lounge, Vase replies. We can sit wherever we want. Cal stomps right into the midst of the Helios. You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift to Vertumna, he spits out. Oh, we don't need you. We never needed you. All you do is make things worse, like this party. You've rarely seen Cal so ready for a fight. He doesn't seem to care that the body language of the Helio kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. You're just a bunch of fascists, Cal continues. You and Lum. Oh boy. The lounge erupts, chairs screeching across the floor as the Helios jump to their feet yelling at Cal, calling the colony illegal and Cal a fugitive. See, if they weren't very invested in a particular kind of hierarchical style of governance, though, maybe this wouldn't even be a thing they would be thinking about right now. 'Cause, why would you? They jostle him around, but Cal plants his feet and stands his ground. You hear a bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. He's not backing down. I mean, they may think they're hot shit with their defense training and their weapons and everything, but Cal is just a big dude, and big dude kind of counts for a lot. Anyway, I'm going to yell at Nem to maybe take her goon squad and go home. Hey, come on, guys. Cut it out, Nem says, tiredly. It's someone's birthday. Don't make it a big thing. They seem to respect her, so they back down, but not before a few parting, libelous shots at Cal's parentage and alleged actions with animals. She turns to Cal and pokes her finger in his chest. You provoked them on purpose, she says angrily. I'm not your friend anymore. Don't ask me to stick up for you if you're being an asshole. I mean, she's totally got him there. Well, Mars exclaims, clapping her hands. That was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part, cake and presents. Under Mars's skillful party-hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but tensions boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Yeah, I could see that. Perhaps indicating some future troubles. Hey, Cal, how you doing? You've been invited to Cal's house for, as he puts it, a real grown-up party. This is adorable. When you arrive, Auntie Tira gives you a warm hug and shows you inside, to where Cal set up the living area with little twinkling lights and lots of blankets. Is it like a fort building party? Sorry, tickle in the throat again. You sit down at the table across from Cal, and Tira pours you both a glass of mushroom wine. She leaves the open bottle on the table. you kids can finish off this bottle if you like, she says. It's a good vintage, one of your dad's first brews, Samhain. A little on the strong side, she winks. I'll be out late, Tira says, kissing the top of Cal's head. Hollow me if you need anything, but don't you two wait up for me, okay? Wow, Auntie Tira is cool. Don't you two wait up? This is a date. He pretended it was a party. Cal smiles at you as you tuck into dinner. I'm glad you could come, he says. I thought about inviting Rex, but he has like zero chill, you know? Besides, he continues, you're one of my best friends in the whole colony. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather be with. Cal puts his fork down and looks at you earnestly. I'm really glad you're my friend, Samhain. I'm so proud of everything you've done. Sometimes I think I really love you. As a person, you know? He looks down, suddenly shy. Sorry, I know that's a lot. I'm just really grateful for you. You and Cal share a wonderful dinner and polish off the bottle of wine. Afterwards, you settle into a big pile of blankets to lie back and look at the stars through the big skylight in his living room. And so that's why I think we should domesticate more Unisaur. It just makes sense, Cal finishes, and you laugh. He's right. Who doesn't want to ride a unicorn? You deserve a unicorn. You've been laughing a lot. Everything is just so funny and also so pretty. The stars look like they're swimming in a big dark ocean, and the little twinkly lights Cal put up look like stars you can touch. You reach out to grab one and come up hilariously short, and Cal giggles at you. Cal is warm and cozy against your side, and the blankets are so soft. Everything is wonderful. You talk the rest of the night away, sharing your thoughts about everything and nothing. It's so nice to share this simple intimacy with a good friend. Eventually, you're both yawning too much to continue talking. Cal pulls a blanket over the both of you, cocooning you in comfort and warmth. I'm so glad we're friends, Cal mumbles. He sounds sleepy, and you realize your eyes are getting heavy as well. As you tip backwards into sleep, all you feel is love. You both sleep deeply. Okay, this was really nice. That's actually really sweet. Morning arrives unceremoniously, pouring through the skylight directly onto your face. You grumble as you turn your head away, burrowing into something that's soft and smells sleepy sweet. Oh, it's Cal, and your face is smushed into the soft skin of his armpit. His arm is curled around your shoulders protectively, your legs tangled together under the blankets. Cal shifts underneath you and blinks his bloodshot eyes open, squinting into the merciless sunrise. Ah, Dip, he mumbles, clinging to sleep. That's so much. He laughs as you peel yourself off of him, sticky from drool and sweat. Gross, bruh, he says, and you smack him on the shoulder. Before long, his mom pokes her head into the living area. Hey, kids, she says, chipper. Ready for some breakfast? Breakfast sounds incredible. You've never been more excited at the prospect of breakfast in your life. You share a breakfast of roasted trippet and eggs with Cal, his mom, and her 3 partners. Even though the rest of the colony is in chaos, you feel somehow healed, having taken the night to let yourself bask in their love. Yeah, that's rad. That's rad. Cal and his whole family are super rad. So what do we want to do? Do we want to go out? I guess it makes sense to go out, right? Like, I think I gave everybody gifts. Poor Nem is just like exhausted all the time. I wonder how much of her time she's spending just like talking these people down from attacking the rest of the colony. All right, let's go explore nearby. We need to, oh shoot, no. This is worth doing, but the thing I was thinking was, let's search nearby because Tange wanted Hopeye eggs, and we've seen lots of Hopeyes out here. But then she also did say specifically that she wanted us to go to the Valley of Vertigo, didn't she? Well, whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay, Sim is here, but has nothing of interest to say to us. I'm not upset about mushwood logs. Let me go get those ones too. Oh, and also this one. And then we do have a hot buy event. I guess we may as well hit it. Notice, this time no Unisaur. It's a little disappointing. Alright, let's see if we can get what we need from you. Hop-eyes are usually docile creatures. They don't even come up to knee height. They eat grass and hop away when you come near. Yep, but something's got these ones riled up. They've stopped fighting each other and are all staring at you, and they pounce. And we have to undergo a toughness challenge, which means there's toughness on the there's toughness on offer here, which is cool. God, I wish straights could run in any direction. I don't know why they can't. Do I want to... Yeah, maybe let's build a straight, because we get such a big bonus on straights. Alright, this is worth 10 if the card to its left is blue. We might just not have a good straight this time. We get a bonus on pairs or, you know, of a kinds as well, but it's certainly not as impressive a bonus. It's a shame there's not really a good way to do this that doesn't, like, you know? I would love to smash these things together in a way that makes more sense. Whatever. We only have 30 points left on the next goal. Like, we're absolutely going to crush it. I don't need to think this hard about it. Let's just, like, put down some blue cards kind of generally, and that's going to get us where we're going. Yeah. I guess we'd hold on. We will be better off using the reds, and we could, in theory, pull a super goal here. Looks like not quite. I think I'm fine with this though. We get the +1 skill on challenge win. Toughness is actually valuable to us. So we're at 58 real toughness then. Yeah, we're not that far off of the perk. Okay, and another 2. The cute little critters kick you, but you kick back. You send them scurrying back off to pick on smaller creatures than you. Well, don't just harass me. What the hell? Okay, I guess let's go see what that yellow event is. I mean, it's not going to be anything, right? Not really. But we did our due diligence. We ran out here. We checked. We picked up all the collectibles. That's what matters. We'll go to the valley next. We'll clean that up. You like it because only you know how to find it? Maybe? The other one didn't really, like... None of this matters. I was about to, like, who cares? Okay, we'll start with a 25 here. That's awkward because that's the 7 makes this a 6. It's difficult to deal with. We do have another 7. But it gets reduced by the... Yeah. All of our cards just fuck up everything. Well, we can still get a straight here. And then, you know, like... Whatever, man. Beautiful Vista that makes that was weird really great. And then it's like... Raining Bounce Weasels. I don't know. Sure, super goal it. Why not? Oh gee, what a surprise. I did not do a good job. You try to remember the route. Left at the rotted mush tree, then uphill for a while. And there it is. Okay, big de-stress. Some extra flowers. Cool. You arrive in a meadow of fragrant yellow flowers. You find a soft spot to lay down amidst them and breathe in the perfume. Okay. Yeah, let's head home. And heading home off of that, we don't even take the stress from it. So we get to be at full de-stress for the next month, which is cool. Although it's only going to affect the next single event that we run into. So she wanted us to go to the valley. Out of curiosity, does the ridge have... No, the ridge has no marker that there's anything special going on there. I think we might have done all of the story events that we need to do in these outer areas, and now it's just a matter of doing the glow stuff. So we need to find some Hopeye eggs. And it's possible that we will not find... Oh, hey, Sim has event text. As does Utopia. Are y'all... Hold on a second. It's possible that there won't be an event that is obviously marked as... Never mind. You spot a Hopeye nest, just like Tangent asked you to find. There are 9 eggs inside, all packaged up in what looks like a delicate spun glass cocoon. You don't see the parents. This feels crummy. What did Tangent want these for? I'm going to do it because Tangent asked me to, and because I don't have the wherewithal to behave myself when my girlfriend asks me to do things. You break a little hole in the cocoon and put 3 of the eggs in your bag. They're a little gooey. You hope they don't break. You turn to leave and come face to face with an adult Hopeye. Understandably, it looks spittin' mad. It drums its powerful foot on the ground in warning, and 4 more pop out of the undergrowth and start hissing at you. You should have known these sociable little creatures raise their young communally. In fact, I'm sure I did know that. I'm just going to use animal psychology to diffuse this situation. You've learned from the Holopedia that the 2 different sets of eyes on a Hopeye have different purposes. The large bulging eyes on top are hardwired for perceiving danger, but their small forward-facing ones are more concerned with finding food. If you're not food and you're not danger, you throw yourself onto your belly and wriggle away while the Hopeyes stare at you curiously. When you're a safe distance away, they return to poking at their violated nest in confusion. What a weird outcome. Oh, the egg is something. You come out of the trees into a large grassy clearing. In the middle is you can only describe it as a pedestal. In the middle of a cradle of flowers sits a massive egg, easily larger than any egg you've seen before. It's white with red flecks, and it's just sitting here in the middle of the empty clearing, totally unprotected. It's a trap. Let's take it. You put 1 foot on the pedestal to brace yourself. This thing is huge. However, as you do, the pedestal starts moving, and it starts growling. Its flowering appendages unfurl to reveal the face of a manticore. This is a kind of manticore. It narrows its feline eyes at you and rumbles in warning as it stands to its full, terrifying height. Well, you figured out where the egg came from. With your arms full of egg, you can't really fight, except what if you actually can? What if you were really great at fighting? Huh? What about then? So let's go... What do we want to do here? I could do some of this. That feels pretty good. Score 37 points in the first hand. That's a decent open. And then we don't have the best setup in the world here for another straight. But it's going to be even harder in round 3 when the rightmost tile has to be more than some card plus 3 if we want to get our straight set up. So what? We make this like 2, 3, 4, 5? We can do 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, tricky but not impossible. This could be as much as an 11 naturally. We have a value as wild over here, so actually if we just play the multitasking on the right, we might be able to make this work. So I mean, this isn't gonna work. This is too greedy. That's starting way too high. So what, we have like a 9 and a 10. We can't turn our 10 blue, unfortunately. So if we had 8, 9, 10. Nope, get over there. So what I need here is an 8 that gets boosted to which I guess could just be like getting your butt kicked plus a log. I mean, this is good enough though. Yeah, I'll just take this. It doesn't quite work, but it does some stuff. And it gets us 2 points of combat. Huzzah! We're actually probably pretty close. We're at 23 combat. Yeah, it's not really that close to a level up. Or to the next perk, rather. You're equipped with only your utility plas cutter, but the manticore is hesitant to really attack you for fear of harming the egg. It's clearly furious with you, but you keep the egg between you and the manticore, and eventually, by sheer dedication, manage to injure the creature enough that it decides to give up on its egg. It slinks back into the fog, grumbling mournfully. The egg's pretty addled from the fight. If it was going to hatch before, it certainly won't now. You get a ship ton of kudos for it, though, and it's super tasty. Well, I don't feel as great about that. Oh, hey, it's this thing. I still don't really know what to do with that. Oh, bobber fruit. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So we have a variety of events. We have a bunch of events we want to work out here. Let's double back. Hit Utopia and then Sim, and then we'll go over, well, actually, let me go this way first because we haven't, there we go, scoured that side for pickups. Sim, what's up? Sim materializes out of the forest before you. Samhain, he says gravely, forgive my directness, but you must come with me now. He places his hand on your shoulder. Please trust me when I say I have done my best to argue on behalf of your kind. I hope only for the continued survival of humanity. Ominous. If we're arguing for the survival of my kind, can I have a second to change my coat? He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge into a cave filled with the hum of strange machinery. A bank of ancient-looking control panels and a crystal tank of glowing liquid seem almost to have grown out of the natural rock. Mineral deposits from moisture trickling down the walls have reclaimed some of them. Sim leads you to a console. This is the array, he says, pressing what seem to be buttons. As I've explained, this body I wear is only a vessel. My consciousness, the person who I am, is stored in the array. I return to it regularly, storing my body in the regeneration tank while I back up what I've learned that day into the array. Physical forms are prone to injury and death, Sim says quietly. It is temporary but highly unpleasant. Therefore, the Overseer prefers to remain in the array. Sim directs you to 2 weirdly fungal growths. Please, take hold of these interface handles. You cautiously touch the handles and say, so the Overseer is a computer? The word software would be more accurate. A strange presence speaks in your mind. I'm going to play it cool with a weird amount of bravery. You can feel the overseer pause, then a sensation in your mind that reminds you of someone clearing their throat. I am the overseer, the voice continues. I speak for the gardeners. We will now show you what we are. Okay, I'm ready. I was not really expecting this to happen at this moment. You have the oddest feeling of memories being inserted into your mind. First a trickle, then a flood. A civilization called the Convergent Domain once existed on this planet, over 20,000 years ago. In your mind, you see their dominion stretch from pole to pole, their farms and solar arrays glittering on the surface as their massive cities tunneled below. Yeah, I know about the domain. We are aware of that, the overseer replies, its voice dry in your mind. We know most everything that happens on this planet. The Convergent Domain created the gardeners as their ecological control system, a vast network of artificial intelligences stored deep underground in a digital array. Self-propagating control towers and cloning stations were seeded, allowing a gardener program to take biological form, downloading a copy of its consciousness into a host body created to suit the task at hand. You think of Sim, his body created to suit the task of befriending you. And that's it, just befriending, a normal amount of befriending. Under the direction of the Convergent Domain, the gardeners controlled the weather, the acidity of the soil, the cultivated species in their farms, and the rapidly shrinking wild areas of the planet. The overseer doesn't quite sigh, but you get the impression that it would. Over time, the domain nearly destroyed this planet. Well, there were too many of them? Correct, the overseer responds. They could not stop multiplying, with a pride and compulsion that can only come from evolutionary drive. They paved the planet's surface with solar panels to run their massive underground cities. There were millions of them, then billions, tens of billions. Too many for the planet to sustain. The last directive the gardeners were given by the domain was to repair the planet's destroyed ecosystem, the overseer says solemnly. The gardeners tried, but it was too late. When the crops failed and the atmosphere became too thick for sunlight to pierce, the Convergent Domain perished by the billions. The last survivors took to the sky in colony ships and never returned. You try to imagine a tragedy on this scale, but it's just too enormous, too abstract to wrap your head around. The overseer continues relentlessly, new thoughts flooding into your mind. Over the millennia, the gardeners took their task seriously. It takes little effort to render a planet inhospitable, but significant dedication to restore it. Under the guidance of the gardeners and the final directive of the Convergent Domain, nature at last reclaimed the barren planet. The garden existed in perfect balance. And now, your species has invaded it. Well, we had nowhere else to go. Your kind had the option to stay where they were, the overseer replies, the tone of its thoughts darkening. Do you think we have empathy for the Convergent Domain who fled on colony ships? The ones who selfishly refused to give their bodies back to the planet that they had destroyed with their pride? You chose to come here, the overseer continues, and you continue to stay. You could instead choose to die. You shudder involuntarily. Some Vertumnan species have a technique of future sight, which the gardeners harness to catch glimpses into the web of timelines. We see that you possess this technique too, alone in your kind. We have foreseen that humans pose a great danger to this planet. You are a monoculture, an invasive species. You throw our hard-won balance in disarray. Since arriving, you have shown nothing but a willingness to consume the planet's resources and replace them with more humans. Hey, we have as much right to live as anything. Your mind fills with images of species rising and going extinct over thousands of years. Animals, with their short lives, are ignorant creatures. They care only for survival and for the survival of their children. They have no concept of a legacy that spans the lifetime of a planet. They cannot be blamed, for living is their only purpose. But humans are animals with the power of gods. You consume recklessly, and your ceaseless fear of death fouls your every action. You shape the planet. You bend nature to your will, thinking only of yourselves. This is a power no animal should have. Okay, well that's, first of all, that's nonsense. We are far from the only animal that bends nature to our will. Maybe that's less true here. We haven't observed any like beavers or anything. But like most animals shape their surroundings. And also, like this is for living is their only purpose. Let's have a gardener come here and talk to me about purpose. Right? After everything we've said to Sim and like most gardeners would prefer to stamp you humans out like encroaching weeds, the overseer says. Without malice, disagree. Indeed, we have tried using ecologically compliant organic methods. We are impressed at your tenacity to withstand these eradication procedures. The yearly attacks, the famine, the pollen, not random natural occurrences at all, but gardeners' tactics to encourage the eradication of pests. But symbiosis speaks in defense of your kind, the overseer continues, and took effort to convince us that you were sentient and capable of communication. Which, until moments ago, you were mostly holding against me. You present us with a quandary. You come from the stars, refugees of a catastrophe of your own design, one that you are intent to recreate here, on a planet which still bears the scars of the last time it was used carelessly. So, we ask, what are we to do with you? Okay. The problem here is that the overseer doesn't seem to comprehend the concept of individuals, because, like, most of us are not, in fact, refugees of a catastrophe of our own design. Even those of us who lived on Earth were not people who were in positions of power such that they were able to have any effect on the catastrophe. I'll tell you what right now, anybody who wants to blame me, Samhain, personally, for the ecological collapse of the Earth can fuck themselves off into the sun. I couldn't do anything about it with every ounce of effort I have in my whole life. But also, it doesn't seem to like grasp that there are some people here who are trying to there are some people here who are at least as responsible as the gardeners. I don't know if it's not capable of perceiving individuality. I don't know that we're going to be able to work with it. I'm going to try this third option. Listen, we can figure out how to get in balance. Just help us do it. But my guess is we're going to have to work against this thing a little bit more than that. So, we teach your kind to be stewards of nature, the overseer replies. Perhaps your children take up the mantle as well, and their children. But soon you are dead, as are your children's children. Generations pass. No one alive remembers the time the gardeners came to the humans and taught them the proper ways to live. And now there are too many of you to teach, and your behavior too entrenched. What then? Genocide? You have no answer, because the question is fucking borderline gibberish. What does this mean? We have the ability to write things down, and the behavior, in this case, that would be entrenched, is the behavior of being the stewards of nature, right? I think the problem here might be that the overseer's an idiot. There is silence in your head, and you only hear the sound of water trickling down the cave walls and the gentle hum of the machines. Eventually, the overseer speaks in your mind one last time. For now, you may leave freely. We will consider this quandary, and we will be monitoring you and the other humans. It's interesting to me that this card is red. I'm surprised. I guess like meeting the overseer is a thing we physically did, but I don't know. It feels like a card earned by a conversation, so it feels to me like it should be yellow or blue. You feel a strange pull at your consciousness as you remove your hands from the interface. There you have it, Sim murmurs. That is my boss. Well, your boss needs to get out more. He is not good at thinking. Sim huffs like he's afraid to laugh. He walks over and runs his hand over the consoles. And now you know how to connect to the array, he says quietly. But you should not come here unless I am with you. Sim takes your hands and looks at you solemnly. When you interface with the array, you hold everything we are in your hands. It took a great deal of negotiating to convince my fellow gardeners to trust you with this power. Please, do not prove this trust mistaken. We're treating the fact that he's an AI construct as an augment, when I don't know that I would say he is an AI construct at all. Like, I kind of get what they're saying, but that's not really, I think, a good description of what's going on there. The paths are narrow and in constant need of repair. There's a team working here, trying to repair where one of the jelly arches has collapsed and covered the path in 30 centimeters of sticky goop. Utopia waves you over. Hey, Samhain, can you give us a hand? We can't get vehicles through here till this is cleared, and it's going to take all day. But you might have a better plan. Using biology. Yeah, so we just have to get 77 and 3. Feels very doable. Hard to put together a 4, 5, 6 here, though. Maybe we just accept the 3 of? It's not, like, super exciting. Alternatively, you can take that. That's pretty good. So we could go like 4, 5, 6, and then this is also just an extra 5, but we definitely want to get that straight in there. Yep, and then that leaves us with just a tremendous number of red cards. So I guess if I put this down, we can put the 6 down at the end, bump that to a 5, and like, this is fine, right? Yeah, it's a biology challenge anyway. It's not like we would be earning extra skill points by doing better. If we found the bonus the bonus score, I mean. Oh yeah, you've seen this stuff desiccate in low humidity like in dust. You throw some powdered desiccant over it and let physics do the work. It's easier to plow through a bunch of plumped up granules of desiccant gel than it is to shovel all the slimy muck. You save a few hours. Well, cool. I'm glad I could help. And now I guess we're going to the yellow thing and probably just bailing out there. I don't think we necessarily need to stick around here and do a bunch more arbitrary... where is the yellow thing? Oh, I almost missed this flower. I mean, do we want to see what's up with this Vriki? I'm already an animals expert. You come across a terrible scene. A manticore has cornered out a little hopeye and is playing with it, batting it around and catching it over and over. The hopeye is screeching in terror. It's a horrible thing to watch. None of my business. No, let's back this manticore off. It may be the case that we're like very much misinterpreting what we're seeing here. Do we wanna just 444? I feel like we kind of have to just 444. It's not very exciting. Let's play both the yellow ones. Yeah, just get rid of the yellow cards so that we have more to work with in our other suits here. Man, Cal's Strength is just a raw... What a good card. An additional +2 bonus to straights is definitely interesting. We can't really... Like, it's actually very difficult to build a straight out of this hand, though. If only I had a 7 of some kind. I mean, I could have a 7. Right, we could double Mushwood Log the 3. It's probably not worth it. We're gonna have 29 left to grab on the final hand. Like, this'll be easy enough. So set neighbors to this value. Does this make your neighbors 6s? It does, okay. And then, yeah, we don't really want to play anything to the right of that, which means, like... But then, what if everything was blue? I mean, this is an animals challenge, whatever. Super goal, again, not actually worth anything. You quietly climb up into a tree first. Manticores can't climb trees. You're pretty sure you remember hearing that. You'll try to scare the attacker away by hooting and throwing rocks. You put on your scary face and try to frighten it off. The manticore is so annoyed by your throwing rocks and making a ruckus that it turns its attention to you. Well, that's something. It roars in anger. Shivers of fear run up your spine. That's definitely a better scary face than yours. The Hopeye, who had been playing dead, suddenly leaps to its feet and bounds off into the jungle. The manticore is now very angry with you. It rears up and digs its claws into your tree. You hold on for dear life as the tree shakes. It roars and rustles its mane at you, pacing back and forth under the tree. Then it sniffs around where the Hopeye had been, grunts one last time in frustration, and wanders off into the jungle. Okay, it turns out they cannot, in fact, climb trees. Let's go home. I saved that Hopeye's life. I'm calling that good for one expedition. It was a very productive expedition. Okay, it is early pollen, and there is much to do, but also, that expedition ended up taking, like, more than half an hour by itself, I think, and I was not prepared for that. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When y'all return next time, we are hopefully going to be able to find a way to get the gardeners to stop killing the humans long enough for us to convince the humans to stop killing the Xenos, and then I'm going to kill all the gardeners. I'm not sure what my long-term plan is. Come back next time to find out, and we'll see you then.